Good morning, everybody. Yes, I am in Derby attire. You can see a horse behind us here in the Airbnb that we're staying at. And beautiful shot behind me there. That camera, I don't know if you guys will be able to hear the traffic or not, but I am live from Louisville, Kentucky. Okay, enough with the hat. But we were getting ready to head over to the Derby. We were at the Oaks last night. It was amazing. We bet on 2 horses. Got completely wiped out the first time we bet, and then the second one, M picked the right horse, and it was just off by 1. It was win, show, or something like that. Win, show, or place. That's what it was. And our horse came in number 4. So anyway, got the hat going. But we really want to talk about this morning. Good morning. I am Jason Cisneros, and this is Built to Exit. Built to Exit with me, your humble host, and where we talk about all things business for you and your company. We have an amazing group of people that are listening over on Twitter right now. At the end of the show, if you'd like to join us live, we go there for the after party. All you have to do is go to @theJCisneros on Twitter, and it will kick you into my account, and you'll see right at the top, it'll be pinned at the top, after party for B2X. And that's where everybody's watching live on all of the different channels. We all pop over there. We talk about the content. People come with their questions about what's going on in their business, what happened last week. We celebrate their successes. We talk about their challenges. Just a really amazing group of business owners that have gathered together around this concept of Built to Exit for their own family. For those of you that are new, welcome to the show. I am not always in a bow tie, but we happen to be in beautiful Louisville, Kentucky for the Kentucky Derby. First time my wife and I have ever been here. We're here with some friends, some business partners, and yesterday was amazing. It was a lot of stuff to take in and see, but the history. And so we thought we'd do a show centered around this. But those of you that are new, what we do is we talk about a couple of concepts that you land on if you've been in business for long enough. You land on the idea that everybody exits. And that means that at some point in time, you're going to leave your business, whether that's through it failing, through physical problems, challenges, people pass away. I know this is a little bit morbid to start out your Saturday morning, but these are the things that you have to plan for. Ultimately, we talk about 3 types of exits. The first one is an involuntary exit, which is I had 3 of those at the beginning of my career, where I went out of business, and the first one I went out, and it was attached to 2 others. Kind of took them down in a little domino series. The second type of exit is called a dictated exit. And that dictated exit means that you are, like I did, my very first time I was able to sell a company, but I ran into professionals on the other side. I got my ass handed to me. I didn't know what I was doing. I probably got half of what it was worth, and it took me a long time to collect on that money. So the third type is what I decided after those 2 instances. I was like, I didn't like the first one at all. Didn't like the second one at all, because I don't like being out of control of my own destiny. And the only difference between the dictated exit and what we developed, which is called the custom tailored exit, is knowing the right questions. It's education. It's not being ignorant about the things of selling a business. We as business owners get really good at what we do, whatever that product and or service is, but there's a secondary parallel track that you need to be thinking about that starts with the idea, that premise that everybody exits. Whether you want to or whether you don't want to, it makes no difference. And so that exit should be something that you want to control. Now, custom tailored exits, that's what we talk about. That's what we build. That's what my wife and I, we own businesses. We're constantly buying businesses, exiting businesses on our own. We also have Built to Exit, where we've helped hundreds of business owners do the same exact thing. And so that parallel track starts the education is this show. You start to learn about the ideas, the concepts of how to prep for that second rail of everybody exits, how matters. And you start to understand the idea that you want to control that outcome. And so we talk about it every week. We come up with a grill. We happen to be here in Kentucky here. So my wife found an amazing story for us to talk about, and it's Calumet Farm. And we just mentioned it this morning we're in an Airbnb with a business partner of ours, and he said, oh yeah, that's the most powerful farm out there on producing winning horses. And it was amazing. It was just doing some of the research for the show, and you realize there's what's called the Triple Crown winner. And that's a horse that wins all three of the major races. And that's only happened 13 times since like 1875 or whatever it was. And of those 13 that it's happened, 2 of those came from Calumet Farms. And they have dominated since the 1940s. They produced 8 Derby winners and 2 Triple Crown champions. That is unbelievable track record, okay? But how that relates, here's what most people don't know. The Warren Wright, he wasn't a horse trainer. Now think about this for just a second. I want you to see yourself in these stories and understand that he wasn't a horse trainer. That's not where he got his start, right? He wasn't breeding horses. He wasn't shoveling the stalls. That's not where he got his start. Where did he get his start? Being a merchant, just like all of us, right? Understanding, learning. I cannot overemphasize the idea that once you understand there's a blueprint for a successful business, there's a blueprint of how to build that business, that correlates with the best exit, right? That you control your exit, the price, the timing, the terms for the best exit for your business also correlates with the best continuity plan. In other words, having all of the right systems, processes in place, having it be transparent, having it crank out numbers, having it turn into a machine that creates cash that then can be duplicated and handed off to somebody without it falling apart just because you, the owner, are leaving, right? And they're buying it from you. So amazing place for this to start is the idea that he took his successful blueprint of building Calumet baking powder, the most powerful horse racing production winner producing in the entire world, started as a baking powder company. He hired the best in the world. He delegated his daily operations, focused on long-term dominance, not how involved he could be on a day-to-day basis. Very, very important concept. So he transformed his hobby, which was racing, right, into a dynasty by focusing on the things that we talk about here every single week. Systems for breeding and training, hiring elite jockeys, trainers, bloodlines, building a brand that buyers and bettors trusted. Now just think about those 3 things. In your business, take it out of the horse realm and look at do you have systems that create a specific targeted outcome at a higher level than any of your competition? Have you hired the most elite people for each role? Or are you doing I know a guy? Hey, I've got a cousin, I've got a brother, I've got this, I've got that. And you throw them together, and that's what correlates to you as building a team. And you wonder because, and look, at the end of the day, you're not competing against the whole world. You're really competing against what it is that you want in your end game with this machine called a business. That's what you're competing with. Now, along the way, for you to be able to reach that end game that you have been specific about building for yourself, in order to reach that, you have to compete against other people, right? You have to compete against other businesses and be able to win those competitions for you to be able to reach that. So building a brand that your buyers, the people that you're doing business with, the people that you want to do business with you want them to be trusting you and that brand for producing the outcome that they're looking for, okay? So here's the point. Again, everybody exits, how matters. The great horse trainer, this gentleman, he exited, But when he died, the machine kept winning because he didn't build a horse farm, he built a high performance system. Are you building a high performance system in your business? Do you know specifically what the outcome of your product and or service does? Have you at least fallen on the idea that you're running two parallel tracks? You have a machine that has fallen in love with the outcome of the user, the target audience of that product and or service. You've fallen in love with it. You deliver it better than everybody else. You've built systems and processes that optimize cash flow. You've hired the right people. You're doing all the, have you done that? And also you're prepping that company up for the maximum exit that you can possibly get. Okay? That's what he did. And that's what we talk about and what we want to focus on. So here we go. Let's give you some quick steps of how to follow this pattern, how to follow this outcome that, that this gentleman and every gentleman, every example, every woman, man that has ever sold successfully hires and promotes a number two that has operational grit. Okay? If your COO can't run the company better than you on a bad day, then you hired wrong. And we go through a lot of systems and processes that, hiring the right person, making sure that this person is going to be in for the long term, letting this person in on the idea that you want to fade back and push them forward, that eventually at some point in time, this is going to be an entity that transfers to somebody else's hands, that's what you're building. You're building the best machine possible for commercial janitorial. You're building the best machine possible for painting, for roofing, for whatever it happens to be. You've built the greatest machine out there so that your name, your brand, all of those things are going. And parallel track, you're prepping that company up for a successful exit. Okay? So let's go over here. So that's your first step. Now, building a weekly operating system, okay? A recurring rhythm. This is your step number two, recurring rhythm for reporting issues, KPIs, alignment, and management team, and MEOs. We have a set of things called MEOs. If you're watching and you happen to be a graduate of our growth course, you can put in there some ideas about MEOs. MEOs, massively important outcomes, is a system and a process that I built over years for accountability, for forward momentum, to make sure that meetings, it took me 3 years to perfect the system called MEOs. And it's one of the most effective and impactful ways for you to be able to track forward momentum, make sure you're not making the same mistakes, make sure meetings aren't taken up by people blathering on and on and on because they love the sound of their own voice. They're very specific, timed, accountability weekly operating systems. Now, you may have one. If you don't have one, obviously we built it. It took us 3 years to build it. It's part of the Built to Exit system because that repetitive rhythm over and over and over again. Nobody misses a MEO session unless it's family, health, those types of things where it's the same time every single week. Everybody knows what's going to be, what is going to happen in those meetings. They know what their responsibilities are. Everybody gets a chance to speak. Everybody gets a chance to say what they got done over the last 7 days and then what they're going to do over the coming next 7 days. Amazing, amazing system. One of the greatest things, one of the greatest systems we ever put together for continuity of operations and being able to exit your business as the owner and allow your team to really take over, okay? Now, how you do that? SOP the hell out of stuff, okay? SOP, standard operating procedures, systems. If you have an outcome and your customers love it, your employees love it, you've nailed something that if you follow this particular set of steps, you're gonna get a consistent outcome constantly. Now, first time you do this, you go through and you get it 80% right. Then the rest of your system should be spent fine-tuning those SOPs over time. The first time you go through it, don't try to get it perfect. It's a waste of time to try to get it perfect on the first time because you won't. But you find the things that are your operations, your sales, your lead generation, your marketing, your finances, your accounts receivable systems and processes, your processes to get referrals at the end of a program to make sure that you're operating and executing and making higher margins. Those types of things are what you line up and get right, and you get a standard operating procedure behind all of them, so that regardless of who steps in, they could pick up that manual, they could look at your app, they could go in and duplicate very closely the outcome of that system or process inside of your machine to make sure that the outcome is predictable for the end user, called the customer, that you have fallen in love with their outcome. Okay, SOPs, unbelievable. Emily has an entire division of her company that does nothing but write SOPs for other people. They're unbelievable human beings. Transition customers and vendors and teams away from you. This is a lot longer conversation, but I wanted to touch on it because this is what kills deals. This right here, this space right here is what kills more deals and disallows. Like we talk about less than 7% of companies ever sell, and of that 7% that does sell, they have a high 50+% or whatever of where the deals fall apart post close. Written checks, signed contracts, handed over, blah, blah, blah. It falls apart. The owner gets handed back their company. It's probably been beat to hell. They've probably stripped assets out of it. There's no revenue coming in, and you don't get paid the rest of your money for the company that you just sold, right? I have to center myself in the box here. but at the end of the day, it's very, very important for you to jump in here, because most of the time when a business does not sell, when it falls apart in due diligence, it's because the owner has an inflated sense of self. I'll say this: you are the center of your universe. You're used to people being around you that say yes sir, no ma'am, yes ma'am. You're used to those people because you liking them is dependent on them getting their paycheck. They think, okay? Shouldn't be that way. It should be performance. But so they're not going to really tell you the truth. And if you do this for years and years and years, what happens is the owner starts to believe that they are actually smarter than everybody else, that they actually do know something more than everybody else. And we really don't. We should be great leaders. And if we're necessary in the process, you're not a business owner. You're not a business owner anyway. The business owns you. I'm not trying to be offensive to anybody. I'm just saying that this is the truth. Unless the business can operate without you, you own your job, and that's okay. That's okay, because some ownership jobs pay really, really well, and people are okay with that for this season of your life. But always be thinking ahead and planning for that next season. So you want no more of the I only talk to the owner relationships. Your name should really become a ghost. And this is hard for people who have gotten used to being needed. You have to break that sense of I'm needed, I'm smarter than everybody else, I'm a rescue, I'm a hero, I fly in, I can make any deal happen, blah, blah, blah. That's great in the beginning of owning your business. But as you mature into willful obsolescence, let's say. you want to be not needed. Those types of that. If you want to be known for anything, you want to be known for the idea that you built an amazing business where the people that work for you and work with you are well compensated. They have a great work environment. They're able to achieve their own goals with their lives, and so it's just one of those things. Somebody made a comment here, William Merchant. I love your last name, by the way, William. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. We've heard that. And it's always good to check in and say, do I think I'm the smartest person in the room? How am I feeling about this? Is my arrogance over? Is it causing me not to ask the right question? We were sitting around with one of my business partners in the tech space this morning as we're getting ready to go hit the Derby again, and it brought up the concept. We were having a conversation about the power of questions being way more powerful than the power of answers. So this is one of those areas. So I want to go past this, but I could tell you that this is the single place that deals fall apart the most. And it's not because of the buyer, it's not because of your team, it's not because of your systems and processes, it's not because the business wouldn't succeed, and it's not because of any of those things. It's because the arrogance, right? The arrogance of the owner crushes the deal because they'd rather be right than rich. Okay? Cool. All right, let's keep moving here. Moving at a decent pace today. You want to practice strategic absence. This is a really great one. Test how the company runs when you're away. Just up and go. Like, get some things in place first. Don't just go poof, I'm gone, and get because Jason said so. No, don't do that. Make sure that you have spent some time strategically putting systems and processes in place so that you can be absent, and then test it small, right? Tell everybody you're leaving, but be oversight, like be looking, right, for a weekend, for a week, whatever it is. Test how the company runs when you're away and even when you're not. Take a 5-day partial unplug, then a 10-day, then a 30-day. You get the rhythm of that. And then debrief after. We have a system and a process called GBDs. I believe we did a video on this in the last year or so. Just go through the library over on YouTube and you'll be able to see. But GBDs is great, better, different. After you do your very first partial unplug, you go back, you say, well, what was great about that? Mark all that stuff down. What could have been done better, because we don't want to sit around in the world of fantasy land that it's just going to get better on its own. And then what will we do different? What will we do different ends up on a calendar, okay? So this is your strategic absence strategy. Now, reposition yourself as the investor or the architect, the cultural steward of your business. My nickname is the architect. We are investors. My wife and I are investors, and we look at that. But the most important thing to us in anything that we touch is the culture, because we know we have a sense of responsibility. We have a sense of culture that we've built for ourselves and our teams that is non-negotiable. How we treat people, how we treat our clients, how we treat the people that are in our lives, how we treat each other on the team, how our people who work for us treat the outside world and their levels of behavior. So all of these things matter, and that's where you should start the transition from CEO, president, general manager, operator of your own business into that role of chairman or chairwoman, chairperson. That's something that I've been talking about for many, many years, is to elevate into that position. You don't do the work, you shape the future. Your only job now is to protect the vision, develop leaders, and scale legacy. Take a snapshot of that and kind of keep that with you over the next month, next couple of months. This slide right here, if you executionally follow it, it'll change your life. It'll change your business life. All right. If your business cannot run without you, you don't have a business, you have a high stress job. Systems plus people equals freedom and valuation. Remember, the professional business owner is optimizing their company, the machine, for cash flow. The experienced professional chairperson, chairman, chairwoman of their business is driving for valuation constantly and consistently. Those are the two things that you're working on. Okay? The CEO to-do list, and the CEO builds to-do lists, the chairman builds wealth. I'm going to say that again. CEO, you got a to-do list. You got to make sure, I got all this shit I got to get done, blah, 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 blah. And it's crucial stuff. It's not that it doesn't need to get done, but that is the role of a CEO. The chairman is interested in building wealth. Wealth is built on valuation of the machine, Valuation increases by everything that we talk about here every single week. We're going through a process right now. It's called the Gauntlet. And the Gauntlet is a system and a process very, very precisely built to be able to take a company once it's been optimized. What we do, if you don't know, at Built to Exit, is we do an unbelievably in-depth assessment to find out where people are. Sometimes that assessment shows, okay, here we give you some suggestions, you go out and build it on your own. Sometimes we partner with companies. Sometimes we acquire companies in this phase. Then we go about optimizing for cash flow. We take that system, we optimize for cash flow. Second thing we do immediately, whether we want to sell the business or we're going to be in it for 20 years or 50 years or pass it on to our kids or whatever, we start exit prep. And it's in that exit prep that's been called the Gauntlet for every company, every CEO, every chairman that I've ever taken through it is called the Gauntlet for a reason. It's the very specific and precise preparation of every aspect of your business that a buyer wants to see. We took and broke down over 30 deep acquisitions that we've been through. We broke down all of them and we took every single variable that you would run into of all of them. So all of those variables didn't appear in just one single. It was all of the variables at the closing table and to the close, to the post-close, and we broke that down so that we could prepare that in every company that we work with, and we call it the Gauntlet, okay? And that's how you build wealth. That is how you build wealth. Number 16, we'll see you guys. We've got our business partners over here. They're getting ready to go to breakfast, and we're going to go meet them just after a little bit. See you guys. All right, so wrap it up. Let's wrap this up with the idea. You can keep riding hard or you can build the thoroughbred business that wins without you in the saddle. Step back, claim your spot in the owner's box, and watch your legacy cross the finish line in first place. The seats that we have, if you're following us on social media, which I hope you are, the seats that we have are right at the finish line, you know, and we're one level up. So you've got the, I believe the owner's boxes, and then it comes up to us. I think they call it Millionaires Row, and then up to the celebrities that sit above us. So we're right in between owners and celebs, right at that finish line. It is unbelievable. I've never seen a horse race until yesterday. That was my very first time, and I was blown away by the majesty. I was blown away by the preparation. I was blown away by the pageantry, the respect of people, the excitement when these horses have been training and they've been under surveillance, like since, you know, for months and months and months. They're under surveillance for 24 hours to make sure no cheating goes on, to make sure that everything's in alignment, to make sure they're not getting mistreated. All of the different things that this Derby has come to represent, and we get to be there at that finish line. And the second, I think it was the second or third race that we watched yesterday, I'm sitting there and I'm going, this is what we get to do at Built to Exit. We get to cheer, we get to support, we get to help people build their businesses into machines that then fund their end game, and we get to see people's dreams come true, and we get to be there at that finish line for business owners. Look, it's no secret that I believe we as merchants, right? We are the merchant class. There is no secret that I love our group of people. I am one to the bone, right? To the bone. As Mark Anderson said, if you are an entrepreneur, if you're a merchant, you know that you are, because you can't not be a merchant. You can't not be an entrepreneur. You can't not own your own business. You can't not own your own destiny and control your own time. And so I have this deep and abiding love and respect for who we are historically, who we are today, who we will be in the future. And so being able to cheer with you and to be able to cheer alongside of you as you, as we all work together on this unbelievable journey called owning a business. prep this baby up. Like, look at those 4 sections. Again, whether you use us, whether we help you or not, we're here to help you. We're here to help you along your journey in yours. Make sure you get a great assessment that is an outside opinion of where you are with your business that can allow some things to float to the top that you can work on. Look, you're competing against people now that are figuring out how to use AI. Right? We're doing the same thing. We're implementing it into our businesses. We just got into the hardware business. We're going to do a big press release launch of one of the companies that we partnered with in Las Vegas on the 14th or 15th. Which is all about the processing, right? Not even just the LLMs. This is the hardware behind it. We believe in it so much, we wanted to be a part of it from the ground up on the AI side. But being able to utilize that as a tool for your business is extremely crucial for you because other business owners are learning to implement it into their life. Now, your business isn't going to go away. I don't know what's going to happen into the future, but I do know that it is an amazing tool for you to be properly utilizing in your business today to give you an advantage of efficiency, effectiveness, customer service, all of the things that you want your business to do. It helps you do a better job of falling in love with the outcome of your customer. If that's not your outcome, then you're just running really hard. As Keith Cunningham tells me, or taught me, my mentor, said, Jason, you might just be running really, really hard in the wrong direction. We want to not do that. We want to not do that, right? We want to run really hard. I know everybody watching this, you have this spirit of hard work. It's, this grit, this tenacity that doesn't exist in the rest of the world. We are 10% statistically of the entire planet is embedded with this defect or prefect or the greatest thing, the greatest gift we've ever been given, which is being a merchant. Right? Being that business owner. It allows us freedom, it allows us impact, it allows us to do really great things with our excess, okay? And we champion merchants all the time. We champion your journey. We champion you winning, and that's who is here. That's who's gonna follow us over to the after party over on Twitter here in just a few minutes. Go to x.com right now. Just go there, go get over there, go to @theJCisneros, and you'll see pop up 2 or 3 minutes after I wrap up here, you'll see pop up at the top after party, and just go in there. It's a spaces, we talk to each other and wrap it up in about 20 minutes because I got a derby to get to. So whatever you're doing as you're watching this show, whatever time it catches up to you, if you're with me here on Saturday Live, thank you for being part of my world. Thank you for being part of Emily and I's world. We really genuinely appreciate you. You are in our hearts and our thoughts and our preparation all week to come to this show to be able to make sure that you have some tools to be able to help you at no cost to you other than your time that you give and your focus. So we love you very much. We appreciate you. We appreciate how many of you are sharing our journey, sharing these shows, and joining us on the journey. We really genuinely appreciate it, and can't wait to see you live. We've run into a few people here. We're here with clients and business partners in Kentucky, and that's how we like to live our life. We have earned our way to a place where we only do business with people we like, that we trust, and that we want to be around. And I hope the same for you. I'm Jason Cisneros. We'll see you over on Twitter @theJCisneros right now. We'll see you over there, okay? Peace. Have a great week.